Well, good evening, folks. How are you folks doing this evening? I hope that everything's fine. This is old Preacher Man Piper, Doc Hatfield, and I wanted to do the second half of my convenience store stories. I had a convenience store well, I had several of them in Wichita Falls, Texas, way back many years ago. And this story starts out with I was having trouble with a beer distributor. Whenever the distributors of the products that goes in the freezer would come, and they had a particular place they had to put everything. Well, this beer distributor didn't want to do that. He just wanted to just get his far enough inside the door, and then he skedaddled. He'd been doing that several times over and over, and I just got tired of it. So I called up the place and I said, I want to talk to the head honcho. So I talked to him and I said, I want you to call your distributor, delivery man, and tell him to come back and pick up all of his products. We're not going to sell you liquor here anymore. I said, he don't want to do what he's supposed to do, put it where it's supposed to go. So I want him to get his beer out of here, and I want him to get it out of here now. Well, we went on throughout the day, and a couple of fellas and a girl came in, and they was walking around in the store, and I could tell this old boy was putting stuff under his jacket. Well, when they finally come up to pay for their stuff, the girl, she just laid down stuff that was about $1.50 or something like that. And I said, how about you taking all the stuff out of your jacket and putting it up here and paying for that as well? I said, we're not in the business of giving products away. So I said, put it up here on the counter and let's take care of this now, or I'm going to call the police. And so he makes a beeline and to go around the counter, and he's headed for the door. Well, I happened to have a ball bat I had big old roll of paper. You know how you used to have go into a meat market and they'd wrap it up with paper? Well, I had that kind of a roll of paper there, had a ball bat down in it. I pulled that ball bat out and I said, if you don't come back in here, I said, I'm gonna knock you in the head with this ball bat. Well, boy, he grabbed for the door and I swung. And whenever I did, I just barely missed him and he got out the door. Well, a policeman was walking in about the same time. And he said, Doc, what are you doing? I said, that guy out there has got a bunch of stuff in his jacket and he didn't pay for it. And he's either going to pay for it, I'm going to go out there and bust the headlights and the windows out of his truck. And I said, them three guys sitting in that truck right there, this guy on this end, he's the one that got it. I said, now I'm going to go out there and bust his windshield. And I come out and around. Well, he went out. And at the same time, he made a call for backup. And those fellas must have just been right there in the area because, boy, they were there instantly. They pulled up behind his truck so he couldn't get out. And he went and got that boy out of that truck, brought him in, and made him unload his jacket. Well, they had about $40 worth of stuff. And so he unloaded his jacket and he said, I'll pay for it. I said, no, you ain't going to pay for it now. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail for being a thief. I said, so just mark it up. And so I told that policeman, I said, what I got to do to get him thrown in jail? He said, I'll take him now. I said, thank you very much. I'll be down there in a little bit and signing whatever needs to be signed. He said, all right. Well, all the time that was going on, there was a fellow that had come in, and he was standing back over, completely out of the way of everything going on, had a nice suit on and everything. And he come walking up to me after all this was done and over with. He come walking up to me and he said, you Mr. Hatfield? I said, yes, sir, I am. He said, well, I'm with the beer distributing company that you called, and we want to do whatever we can to keep our business here. So I've called for that man, that delivery man, to come back and put that beer where you want it put. I said, well, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. If he had just put it where it's supposed to be in the first place. So he said, well, I'm really sorry. He said, I'm telling you. He said, I really thought you had that guy. I thought you was going to knock his block right off. And so the guy came back. He put it all where it was supposed to be, and he come back out. And I just looked him right square in the eye. I said, now, wouldn't it have been much easier for you just to put it where it belonged in the first place? Well, yeah. I said, so we got a deal? You're going to put it where it belongs when you come in? Yes, sir. I said, then we're going to do business. So he ups and he leaves, and that's the end of that story. So I've got one more story, and then that's going to be it. The general manager of these convenience stores called me in, and he said, I need you to go to Altus, Oklahoma, and I need you to spend a couple of weeks up there. He said, we're losing money up there. Somebody's stealing from us, and we can't find out who it is. Said, I want you to go up there and find out who it is. I said, all right, I'll be glad to go up there. And he said, take your ball bat. I said, yes, sir, I'll take my ball bat. And so I went up there to Altus, Oklahoma, and the first thing that I noticed was that a guy that was working there, he had a brand new Mustang. I mean, it was dressed out to the hilt. I thought, how in the world can he afford a car like that? You know? But I didn't think much about it. I just went on. And that being an air base there was lots of traffic, so lots of gas. And so one day, I was out collecting money. I mean, people would buy the gas at the pump, and they'd just pay me right there, and so they wouldn't have to come into the store. And of course, he was doing that, and another person was doing that. Well, I began to watch this guy, and I saw him putting money in his pocket. And so I thought, well, why is he putting money in his pocket? So I watched him for a good long while, and he was real confident about what he was doing, because it was easy to spot him. I mean, once you saw him do it, it was easy to see him do it over and over and over and over and over. He probably had, I was guessing at that time, he probably had a couple of $100 in his pocket. And I thought, well, that's a good deal for being a convenience store clerk, making a couple of $100 a day. I'd like to make a couple of $100 myself. And so when it come to the end of the shift, I told this boy, I said, listen, before you leave, I need to talk to you. He said, what about? I said, empty your pockets right here. He said, what? I said, empty your pockets right here on the counter. And And he said, no, I'm not going to do it. I said, yes, sir, you're going to do it, or I'm going to empty them for you. He said, well, I don't know how you're going to empty them. I said, I'm going to just cold cock you and take your pants off of you and empty them. Now, if you don't think I will, give me a try, please. I want you to. Well, he emptied his pockets, and he had like about $400 in his pocket. And so I called the general manager and told him that I found out this guy was stealing. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, fire him. I said, okay. So I fired the guy. But the very next day, 5 men came into that store. They all had on overcoats. Now, this is in the summertime. Hello. They all had overcoats on, and they stationed themselves around the store. Well, I just figured they were there to rob the store, is what I figured. So I turned around and I hit a button, because we had a button that when you hit it, it let the police know they were needed instantly. And I had a button there, and I hit that button. I also had a sawed-off shotgun, and I pulled that sawed-off shotgun out, and the guy closest to me, I said, now, son, you're the first one that's going to die. Okay? You're chosen. You're going to die. The rest of you, open up your coats and drop your guns. Now, I'm going to kill this man, and then I'm going to come after you. I said, now, don't think I can't do what I'm talking about doing. I'll do it in a New York instant. I said, now, drop your guns, take those coats off, and all of you just march right up here to this counter, right now. Well, by that time, the police were coming. And so the police came in every door, and I said, it's these 5 guys right here. Well, they found them, and they all had shotguns. So they meant business. They was going to kill us. And so the police said to me, said, what made you think? I said, duh, they had on them big overcoats. Oh, well, that sure would have set it off. I said, yes, it would have. I said, I believe I just saved some people's lives in this store. He said, you sure did. You certainly did. And he said, and I am sure that they appreciate it. And I said, well, I said, I was here to catch a thief, and I caught a thief and fired him. I said, then these 5 guys come in here. I said, I don't know if they're associated with him or what. I said, he might have put them up to it. I said, I don't know. I said, but anyway, he's out. Now they're out. And I said, so I'm going home. And so I ended up going back to Wichita Falls. And when the general manager down there found out what all I had done, he really showed his appreciation in a great way. And I'm glad that he did. But I was glad that I was able to help catch the boy that was stealing all that money. I mean, he was just stealing it right and left, and nobody was catching him. And so I was glad that I was able to finally catch him and get all that taken care of. So that's my convenience store stories. Oh, I got another one, but it's not anything. It's I hired a girl to work the cash register. She couldn't make change. I mean, couldn't make change. If somebody give her $2 and they bought $1.51, she couldn't give them 49 cents for nothing. And I worked with her probably for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden the light bulb turned on, and she got it, and she was fine from then on. And I said to her, "Do you go to school?" She said, "No, I just graduated." I said, "Just graduated and you can't even count change?" "Well, we just never were taught that." And I said, "Well, okay, all right." I haven't said anything so far because I don't have anything to put in a gall of any kind. But I just wanted to tell you people how much that I appreciate you. I've got 509 subs as of today. And I appreciate you folks like you would never know. Thank you so very much. You're so kind and so gracious. I'm going to do another video here in just a little bit and talk to you about some things. But I just wanted to come back on and tell the other two convenience store stories because people like to hear that. And so until we meet again, and until I do come back, I pray the good Lord to watch over you and take care of you and supply your every need, take care of every circumstance in your life. And I pray that all of you will enjoy the smoking of the pipe. And today is Tuesday. They call it corn cob day. So I was smoking my corn cob, and I enjoy that. And I'll talk about that in my next video. So until then, you folks take care of yourself, watch over each other, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.